Hello, Madam Z here, and welcome to the Witchy Wisdom live training. I am Madam Z, your magical life coach and the head mistress of Madam Z's School of Witchery and also the High Priestess Academy. You can find all of my offerings and courses and check me out on www.madamz.com. All of my academy and classes and courses are listed on my website. So come check me out over there at www.madamz.com. So today is Witchy Wisdom Wednesday. We are going to be doing a live training on all things witchy. And I go live on Wednesdays for training. So if you are here, let me know that you are here. I want you to, let me see what I want you to do. Drop in the comment your favorite type of magical tool. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. And let me go ahead and take a drink while you're here. Popping in, say hello. Let me know you're here live. If you're watching the replay, hit hashtag replay for me so I can give you some replay love. So today I'm just drinking actually some lemon raspberry tea. So iced tea, that is. It's supposed to be nice and rainy and stormy today. So it's a good time to actually put your altar together, which is what I'm going to be talking about today. And actually, we're going to be talking about this exact subject in the Witches Academy. So all of my students that are here, hello, thank you for hanging out with me. And this is what we're going to be learning today later on about how to set up your altar. But there's all kinds of things that you can put on your altar. But today I wanted to talk to you about my 5 tools that every witch should have on their altar. Now this is coming from the way I was taught. This is the way that my path sets up their altar. Everything is sometimes different depending on your training or depending on your path. But this is the way that I was taught, and this is the way I teach my students, the basics, and then we go into creating your altar more in depth. So go ahead and leave comments if you have any questions about today's training. And at the end of the training, I will go through the comments and I will respond. But I want to make this really, really fast because I know you're super excited about setting up your altar, getting your tools. So, and that's what my business is all about, is about taking out all the BS and crap out of witchcraft so you can get to witching super fast. And so that's why I'm trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter, 15, 20 minutes, so you can just get in there, get the information, and get out there and get to witching. So drop in your comments that are questions or anything that you have, any suggestions or any tips and tricks or anything that you want to drop in the comments that would help other witches also, and I will reply to them after the live, so that way you guys can get to witching fast. So let's dive into the tools, and these are my 6 magical tools. I may add another bonus, I think I will at the end, but these are my top 6 magical tools that I think every witch needs on their altar. And I have my tools to the side, so I will actually be showing my actual tools that I use. So the first one, which is near and dear to my heart, is a chalice or cauldron. I have many types. Sorry for the knock on my microphone. I have many types of cauldrons. I have big cauldrons that are outside, protecting my home, and also outside cauldrons that I use in rituals. I have a couple of mini cauldrons that I use for altars that are inside, and also mini altars for portable rituals. If I'm doing something that in a graveyard or in a outside area, as far as a park or a grove, that I can't actually haul around that big altar, that big cauldron. So try to get different types and sizes of cauldrons or chalices depending on your needs. I always love cast iron, but not everybody is accessible or has access to cast iron. Get whatever you feel is right. Now, I don't have my cauldron on me because it's in my my altar, and it is working right now, but I do have my chalice, which is another thing that you want to have. It's kind of cauldron chalice, can be used interchangeably. A lot of school of thought it's different, and I think it just depends on your workings and what you're doing. So I'm going to show you now the chalice that I use. Now this is for ritualistic drinks, and you can do all kinds of magical uses and magical workings with this one. So a chalice or a cauldron represents the female energy, right? We talk about the cauldron like this. It's like shaped like a womb. Anything that is shaped like a womb or holds anything. And it's used for scrying. It's used for libations. It's used for offerings. It's used to burn incense in, and it can be used for really holding things. It represents the element of water, which is a female energy, so it represents the female energy. A rule of thumb that I teach in my academy and I teach to my students is you need to have all elements represented on your altar, which is earth, air, fire, and water. And then some people think that spirit is the fifth element. That is up to you and how you resonate with representing the fifth element or just having the four elements, earth, air, fire, water. So the female or the female energy, which is the chalice or the cauldron, is the element of water. So which is about healing. It's about emotional releasing. So this is my chalice that I have. And I use this primarily for offerings, for libations. If we're in ritual, I will use this to go around and offer ale or mead to all of my sisters and brothers in circle with me. So this is my chalice that I use on my altar. So the second tool every witch needs to have is their Athame, and I just love my new Athame. This is obsidian Athame. So this is my obsidian Athame. I hope you guys can see that. It just fits perfectly in my hand, and it's this way. And that's my obsidian Athame. I love this one. This one sits on my altar all the time. And it acts as a protection because it is a stone and it is obsidian. But Athame represents the male energy because it is the phallic sign. Remember I talked about how you have to have the elements represented, and we're going to talk a little bit more about representing the dualities. Okay, so it represents the air element. In my practice, it represents the air element. So it's used to cut cords, to cut through energy, to direct spiritual energy, and it's used to cast circles. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the wand and Athame, what the difference is with that later on. So don't forget to type in the comments which one is your favorite tool to use. And then the third one is, I just love my Athame. I feel, well, I love all my magical tools. They're just like my children. I can't pick. Well, I don't have any kids, but I can't pick just one. I love them all. So, and they all have different uses, and you need to know what the uses are so you know which tool you need to bring for a specific ritual. So the next one is the candle. I always have usually just a plain white candle because it's for an all-purpose spells, all-purpose energy. I don't have any specific tensions when I light this one. So I just use a plain white candle. So the candle represents the fire element, and it's used in magic for spell work and also to ignite your passion. And so it is, and it can be used for scrying also. A lot of these tools, depending on what they are, can be used for scrying. And the next one is the crystal. I always have crystals. Raise your hand if you always have crystals, because this represents the element of earth. Now, with this one, I'm going to show you this. You can have any kind of crystal that you want. You can actually dive deeper into a specific crystal, for a specific working that has specific properties on your altar. But this is the crystal that I have on my ancestor altar, and it is a crystal skull, just a clear quartz crystal skull. There you go. And I use skull crystals for, make sure it's straight, for ancestor work, or my ancestor altar. So that goes on there. So any crystals that you feel you are drawn to, if you don't have a specific purpose in mind for your altar, you just want a general working altar, I would use just a clear quartz crystal. Okay. And the next one that you need to have is something that represents the god or goddess. For example, you can have a statue that represents just the female energy. You can have a Mount Gaia statue. You can have antlers or horns that represents the pagan god or the male energy. The chalice, if you want to use one of these as a duality purpose or dual purpose, you can most certainly do that. You can designate your chalice to represent the element of water and the element of, not the element, but the energy of the goddess. So you can have dual purposes. You can also have the Athame that represents the air, but also represents the male energy. So you can have dual purposes that represents different energies in your altar. And the next one that I really love is wands. I'm going to show you a couple of my wands that I have. Wands, I love ones that are made out of wood, and you probably need to research what different types of sacred wood you would like your wand to be. For example, I am very Celtic. I started off very deep rooted in Celticism. Celticism, is that even a word? I don't know, but whatever it is. I'm drawn to Celtic magic. So it is very important that we know what our birth magical wood is and get a wand associated with that birth wood. So this is one that I have that my circle sister made for me, and it's just a wood wand, right? A branch that she got off of her forging, and she wood burned it, had symbols on it, and this is for healing, as you can see, it's probably backwards. And she wire wrapped it with copper, which copper is a conduit of energy. And she put some emeralds on there for me because emeralds are my birthstone. And then she put a crystal on the end of both of them. This is an emerald also. And then she adorned it with ribbons. So this is one wand that you can have. You can have many different types of wands. For different purposes. I keep hitting that, I'm so sorry. For different purposes. And so you want to research what the properties are for wands, different uses, and what kind you can get. This is my latest wand that I just got. And this is a crystal wand. And I use this for healing. I use this for cord cutting. I use this for energy work. I use this for chakra work. And this is lapis lazuli. So this is also working with your throat chakras. So this is one of the wands that I use on my clients when we want to do spiritual cleansing, open up your chakras. So you want to make sure that you have, if you have a specific intention, that your tools have the magical properties of that specific intention. So the last one I want to talk about is the most important one that you need to have on your altar. And the most important thing that you need to have on your altar or next to your altar is yourself. Okay. You hold all of these magical energies and tools within yourself. You have the fire in you. You have the crystal in you, you know, the groundedness. And I forgot to talk about the properties of the crystal. So this is about, I use it for ancestor work, but the crystal represents the element of earth. And this keeps you grounded when you're doing spiritual work or spell work, and also is connected to Mum Gaia. I totally forgot to tell you all what that crystal represents. So don't forget that the most important tool that you can have in your magical practice, in your altar, is yourself. You hold all of these elements. You were born into the existence with having all of these elements inside of you, within you, as above as below. So if you want to do a magical working spontaneously, I call it magic on the fly, in maybe a field, or you're drawn, to doing a ritual in water all of a sudden when you're walking along the path, but you don't have any of the tools, use yourself as a conduit, use yourself as a chalice, use yourself as a candle to spark that flame. Use your feet to ground you to Mum Gaia. Use your finger as a wand. Use your other finger as an Athame. You have all of these tools within yourself, and that is the most important tool that you can have in your magical toolbox or your magical altar, is yourself, your frame of thought, your energy, and your intention. That is very, very important when you do any altar setup or when you do any workings. So, all right, that is it for today's training. Like I said, Madam Z here. You can find me at www.madamz.com. And I invite you to come hang out with us in the Witches Academy, which is an online academy. And we have some fabulous witches in there that are diving deep into their magic and learning how to trust themselves and to remove all the fluff and BS from witchcraft that keeps us from actually doing magic. All right, my brothers and sisters, witch on everyone, and we will see you in the next training. Bye.